So I'm going to talk a little bit about DNSSEC stuff. I know you guys all know about this range of things, but there are going to be two topics I'm going to talk about here. So let's just start, all right? First of all, so my name's Rick Lamb. I work at ICANN. I'm one of the guys that designed the DNSSEC root key kind of signing system, and you know, that was all fun, and that was an interesting set of experiences. But since we've done that, there have been a number of times that people have misunderstood what it is that we do, you know, to just simply manage this private key. I mean, everyone here, you guys are all techies. You understand, you know, public-private key cryptography. So all we're really doing is managing this one private key, our RSA key. So let's see if I can make this all work. Some of the things, let's see, escape, there you go. Some of the press have completely misunderstood this stuff to the point where, let's see if I can find this now. All right, I thought I had it here. Why don't I see it? Where it's, excuse me. For some reason, I'm not finding it. One of the videos. Sorry, I am a PC user. I do not use Macs. Hey, my desktop runs Ubuntu, all right? I mean, my laptop runs Ubuntu. Where are they? Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, thank you. All right, so like, for example, we have seen things like this. Hopefully, can you hear this? You cannot hear this, can you?
It's taken over the internet. If that's what you think, then you understand very little. By all means, enlighten us.
The internet is built on the premise that when people type in the address of a website, they are sent the legitimate version of that site. When the seven of us would meet up, we would verify that every entry in the online phone book was legitimate. If we didn't, a bunch of fake sites would pop up to steal users' personal data, plant spyware on phones and computers.
So, seven people verify every website on the internet. We as algorithms did. What happens if someone gets their hands on their algorithm? They couldn't. Not without these.
The no location tape workers had those cards.
Okay, you get the idea, right? So that is a real TV show in the U.S. called Elementary, all right? And it's a take on Sherlock Holmes. So they picked up on this. This is in that clip. They actually say ICANN. And that really, I hate when they say that, but they actually call out ICANN. And you know, there's another one here too that I'm going to show. I mean, blacklist.
No, I got this because of the key ceremony. The what ceremony? My husband is one of the seven. He holds one of the keys to the internet, the secret keys. That's why we came here. Lex was supposed to be part of the root key signing ceremony.
No, sorry.
No, the association has already arranged for a replacement.
Well, they're glad I wouldn't say that's not nonsense.
Exactly.
Okay.
What part of the internet will these secret keys control?
All of it.
Okay. All right. So you know, these things will be uploaded, and you can look at them. But my point in showing you this stuff is, I know you guys know, right? This is all just a joke, but it's risen to a certain level of interest by the public, where I think it's helpful for any one of us to do understand how DNSSEC works, to maybe try to make sure people don't misunderstand what's going on. And I think both of these shows, which are pretty recent, okay, they try to get it right. You know, the first guy said, yeah, you know, this is DNS. The key is to try to make sure that if you know, type in an address or type in a domain name, you actually get what you're supposed to get. And we know that's what DNSSEC does, right? I mean, you guys are a little techie, so I'm not gonna go into that. But there are other articles here. There's a Guardian article from 2014 that they talked about this as well. And again, you know, the press just cannot help themselves, right? So they have to say 7 key holders, all right? And a recent presentation. This was just the 13th of May earlier. Really nicely done by a colleague of mine, Kim Davies at ICANN. So if you ever want to see, you know, a short presentation on exactly what goes on in one of these key ceremonies, that's great. But my purpose for this, describing all this stuff, is to actually point out that we're about to pick some more people to be these key holders. All right, that announcement just last week. All right, and you could see you have many of those people among you here. I mean, there's Dimitri, there's Dima right there. I know a few others in here have been to key ceremonies. I'm looking for the other one. Yeah, but yeah, he's one of the key holders. Anyway, some of you actually visited. It's an open ceremony. We do four times a year. Other than the ICANN staff, everyone pretty much is from other countries. And this is a system that I designed, so I'm very proud of this, to make sure that no one really trusts ICANN, right? So the idea was to spread this out as much as possible so that we could not, no one person, but particularly we could not do anything with the key, use it to sign anything, okay? To sign, what we do is we sign the ZSK for the root 4 times a year. But we can't do anything without at least 3 out of 7 people to show up here. So these are the real guys. This is for the West Coast. We have people on both sides. There are 21 people. They're called Trusted Community Representatives. We have 7 for the East Coast, 7 for the West Coast. If you are ever going to visit one of these key ceremonies, the East Coast one is cooler than the West Coast, so try go to the one in Washington, D.C. There's where some of the people are from. It's designed to require 3 out of 7. You guys that are crypto experts, you know this M of N thing. We use an HSM that's $40,000 HSM. You shake it and it deletes everything. The same set of people have been, basically the same set of people have been there since 2010, all right? So what we're looking for is a few good women and men to want to volunteer some of their time, probably 1 or 2 times a year, either LA or Washington, D.C. The criteria is the same criteria that we set forth in the beginning. No politicians. Okay, we want technical people, right? And we want them globally distributed, right? People from as many places as possible. I mean, people like, Dima have luckily been working with us since 2010. But many of them have gotten tired, and it's really time to open up. So it's an open-ended process. It just started. The website is iana.org/TCR. Just go there, and try to apply. Send us some information. This is just to show you who we had in the very first key ceremony. Everyone was at the first key ceremony. We have, oh, shoot. Okay, I don't know how to get the laser pointer to work, but you see Vint Cerf was one of the TCRs, the guy with the beard on the right. We had, I don't see his picture. Oh yeah, there's the guy with the smiling face, kind of the shit-eating grin. That's Dan Kaminsky, and a guy who made DNSSEC kind of popular, showed that there was this very easy way to lie and do cache poisoning. So, make him part of the system as well. Embrace your enemies. And so all these people are involved in this process. All right, let's see if now I know with this slide. Okay, I said I was also going to give an update on the DNSSEC deployment. It's doing well, but it's not it's not where we would like to see it. So at the top level domain level, at the TLD level, pretty much everyone is following through, right? 90% of the top level domains have DNSSEC deployed on them. But you go one step beneath that, and it's dismal. We only have like 2 or 3%, maybe 3%, not that many. I'm trying to think of a recent number, 8 million domain names maybe out of the 300 million that are out there. So that's a problem, and earlier there was a gentleman asked me some questions, and I remember I said that one of the difficulties for DNSSEC getting deployed is content delivery networks, complexity. There are a bunch of reasons why you don't want to do this. At the resolver level, it's actually not so bad. I know this picture's not that good, but the resolver level, I see, this is thanks to Jeff Houston's work, I see about 15%, something around that number. It depends on what region, but it's doing pretty well, and that's Google. 3 guys at Google did 8.8.8.8. And I remember talking to them, they're just 3 guys that work in Manhattan and New York, and I asked them, I said, why'd you put DNSSEC in there? That's great. You made your resolver a validating resolver. They said, well, no particular reason. We just thought it'd be a cool idea. So, it's amazing how many people now use 8.8.8.8. But It started that way. So it would be nice for the service providers in this room to try to at least help the resolver number there, the validation number, that's the third thing on the column, get up above 15% to try to get more and more ISPs to deploy DNSSEC. And I know it's pretty well deployed in some parts of Europe, very well. I guess this is a call. Well, this is a call out to ISPs to try to turn on DNSSEC validation, even though it may cause you some problems initially. And then, of course, hosting providers. No one's going to implement DNSSEC by themselves. In general, people are going to expect some hosting provider or someone else to do this for them. So that would also be something that would be very helpful to increase the adoption of DNSSEC. And as I said earlier this morning as well, I mean, DNSSEC to me is not just protecting DNS. It's creating this platform where we can all build all kinds of neat security things and make money, become successful doing something. So that's why I find that very interesting. I mean, some of the IoT space too, I've heard people talk about, well, you have an IoT device that already has DNS, all right? If we add DNSSEC to it, now we actually have something where we could bootstrap security. I wouldn't say you'd want to use it to communicate, but you might use it to, say, exchange public keys so that you could establish an encrypted connection between something. Okay, so let's see what's next. That might be, okay, that's that presentation. Now I'm going to switch to, any questions about that? Any questions about being a trusted community representative? Okay, well, I'll take questions at the end. The second part of my talk is a different presentation here, and it is on the fact that we are about to roll the root key, and it's a big deal for us. There we go. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, and I guess for that, I need to put. There's the new root key. Okay. All right. And these dates are very important. So all this next presentation is me. Sorry, I'm just going to do this. It's me reminding you of certain dates. Okay. We all know what DNSSEC is. I'm going to skip this part. All right. The key has not been changed since 2010. All right. On the 11th of October of this year, it's going to change. There's no going back. All right. And for you resolver operators, the main issue here is that if you're running a modern resolver, a recent version of bind, unbound, nominums, validating resolver, any problem, Microsoft, that works. Yeah, Microsoft does make a resolver, or does make a DNS product. You'll probably be okay. But one of the things we're worried about is the automated system for rolling this key. It's called RFC 5011. Requires that your resolver software has write access to certain directories, because it's going to change a key. And that's where we suspect that we're going to see a few resolvers fall over. Okay, and so on the 11th of July. You will see the new key.
Keep the mic.
Yeah, you will see the new key in the DNS. If you do a dig, you do a DNS lookup for the root key, you will see one new key. All right, and so that's when you should start look at your log files to see if your resolver has got any kind of issues with it, or something going, it can't write to a directory or something. That's when I would expect to see some sort of problems. So. That's really it, pretty much, for this presentation. See, I'm just going to repeat it over and over again. Now, here's the key. We generated this. Last fall, and you have to, in order for a key to be provisioned, it has to show up in all facilities, right? A key can't be trusted until it's been imported, exported, imported on multiple devices, backup locations, et cetera. Right? And that was all done publicly. These key ceremonies are very public. That's why Hollywood has picked up on it. So there you go, 11th of October. So we keep repeating that. It uses a process called RFC 5011, which is a IETF standard, which we've tested with multiple resolvers, and it seems fine. It should just work. All right. The 11th of August is 1 month. So this RFC 5011 standard says that when you first see the new key, you don't immediately accept it. You want to make sure it's real, right? So it waits for 30 days, a 30-day hold down time. So if it sees that key for 30 days, then bingo. This should show up somewhere in your file system, all right? And it's the usual places. It's Vine, somewhere, if it's in the Microsoft stuff, it's, I think, /DNS, somewhere, pretty easy to find. Again, dates. Okay, we have a test bed that people can use if they're worried about their resolvers. They just go to that website and register themselves onto that test bed. That test bed will then start a 30-day timer for your particular. It'll create. You'll be given a fake zone or just a kind of throwaway domain name, and it will start clicking 30 days from there. You can see how things work. You could also use something I wrote. I wrote something that accelerates the whole process. Every one of the main resolver packages have certain switches that you can set to accelerate time. So there's another way to do that. So, all right. Just be ready. Because after October 11, that's it. Done. Okay. I thought I was talking pretty loud. But... All right. Okay. So just make sure you get October 11th right. We have a lot of resources. I have a website that you can go to look at this stuff as well. I also routinely travel the world giving DNSSEC, hands-on DNSSEC core training courses where actually deploying signers, try to talk about best practices on how to deploy this stuff. It's like a 3 to 5 day class. If you can assemble at least 30 people in a room, it's free. It's actually worth CPE credit to if you're CISSPs, any of you guys. Anyway, so I do that most of the time, and that's it. Any questions?
Thank you very much for presentation.
Okay.
Please, questions?
Jim Reid, computer programmer from Scotland. Rick, a couple of questions on the trusted community representatives. Can you say anything about how these people will be chosen from those who are either nominated or volunteered? And has there any thoughts yet about formalising this process in some other way? I'm thinking maybe there's a plan at some point, once we've got this whole thing bedded in, that maybe we'll have someone nominated, say, from the RIR community, somebody nominated from the registrar community or whatever, and then have them essentially have the process going forward for the future. Has anybody given any thought to that yet, or is that still put in the back burner?
Well, thank you, Jim. A lot of thought has been given to how to make the process as transparent as possible. If you go to that website, all that information is there. You're suggesting being a little bit more, so the two criteria are geographical diversity and technical capability.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have anything for more than that right now. But I think what you're suggesting makes a lot of sense to pick from different communities. We're open. We're open to suggestions on how to make this more logical, more inclusive.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate all the hard work you and others did to get this thing started, and the TCR thing was a necessary thing that we need to bootstrap this whole mechanism.
Yeah.
But I think now we have to move beyond that and put this in a bit more of a...
And I think it's getting...
more like a formal mechanism for it.
Yeah, well, I think it's getting there because now we do have a formal set of web pages now that talk about how we do the selection process,
Yep.
but not to the level of detail that you're suggesting. And that's something we're still looking at the community for. So
Okay.
feedback is good.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.
Any other questions? 1, 2, 3. So thank you very much.